um, proceed ahead. So the f-string formatted string literal is a way in Python to easily insert variable into a string. You can see name, a value is assigned to it, and I can use the variable name within a string with the help of this f formatted string, and it would print a message like this. Other ways like string concatenation in comma separate values, which you have already seen, are also possible way of doing this. Okay, so let's move on and see how Python is different than other programming languages. So you can see here, no curly braces are required to separate a block of code. So here Python uses indentation. We haven't discussed this block, but it says that if this condition satisfies whatever we write underneath it, it will execute. And you can see this block of code is distinguished with the help of an indentation. However, on C and Java, we use curly braces to enclose any block of code within a certain group. Okay. No need to declare variable types. In other programming language, if your variable is storing integer type, whole number, you need to explicitly specify int, or floating point for float, or string for char. Okay. Here in Python, you do not need to define it. So just to give you a very an ordinary example, like if you're working in a kitchen, you may have like a different stuff, ingredients, you may have a different set of cutlery, and for example, you need to you need to have a container where you can like pour in some water. Okay, so for the water, because it has a different specific type, you cannot use any type of container. You cannot use a flat plate to hold water, right? You need to have a specific container, like a glass or bowl. Similarly, in Java or in C, C++, we need to specify what type of a data it is, and we need to explicitly declare whether it is integer, it's float, it will be containing a string, or so on and so forth. Now in Python, you may consider it as an advanced type of cutlery. Whatever you pour in, it will adapt its shape. So if you are pouring in water, it will turn into a shape which could easily hold that type of data, or that type of object. Okay. Next is simpler print statement. You can see in Python you have already experienced this. In C, you write printf or system.out.println in Java. Okay. It doesn't mean that Java is not efficient. It is sometimes better in compared to Python in many different ways. Okay. No semicolon required. So here x equals 10 in Python, you would write it like this, and in Java, every statement, every line has to be finished with semicolon. Similarly, clear function or loop syntax. In Python, it is definition. You use a keyword def, name of the function, and whatever you want to write in. In Java, you see you have to define some, use some awkward keywords like void. You may not be able to understand that, but here void means like this function is not returning anything. Otherwise, you need to define the type of the output, the function's output. All right. Let's proceed ahead with discussing some terminologies using the same code that we developed last time. So first thing is variables. We have been using it very frequently. You should know what the purpose of the variable is and what are variables. They are just containers to hold some values. Okay. Then we have a statement. Any line in code is generally referred as a statement. Okay. So all the lines in this code are generally referred as a statement. There is a difference between a statement and expression. So the expression is something which evaluates and returns an output, generates an output. Can anyone point me like what is the expression here in this code? What are the line numbers? Where is the expression? Yep.
Would be lines 5 and 10.
Line number 5 and line number 10. Is it evaluating something? Expression, by definition, it evaluates and then returns the output. Yes.
Is it 4 and 9?
Yeah.
What are those? Is it 4 and 9?
Yeah, it's 4 and 9. Yeah, both of you are correct. So 4, it calculates like wage times hours times week. So it performs some calculation and generates an output. What we are doing it with this output is generated output is we are assigning it to another variable named salary. Okay, same is the case here in line number 9. Then we have print statement in this code. We have discussed this a couple of times. It's used to display the message on the screen or the output, whatever we want. And then hash denotes comments. So whenever you use a hash, just like line number 7 here, so updated working hours, it is not compiled. When Python reads your code, it bypasses whenever it sees any statement starting with hash. Okay, so hash is just like to help you write comments. It is highly recommended whenever you write a code that you include the encode comments. And I personally experience this. Whatever I write, if you write a code, let's say 100 or 120 lines of code, and if you look at it again, like maybe in a couple of days, 3-4 days, you won't be able to recognize or won't be able to understand your own written code, what you did a particular specific line. So it's highly recommended that you use comments in your code regularly. Let's do a quick knowledge test, which we have just discussed, just to see if you guys are up or fallen asleep. What is the purpose of variable? Let's call these option A, B, and C. So for the first one, what is the answer? A. So it's store values for later use. So we use the basic purpose of variable is to store the values that we can later use. What about the second one? So 20 times 40, is it evaluating something?
True.
And will it generate something?
Yeah.
An output, so it should be true. Okay, it's an expression. So expression by definition evaluates and returns an output. What about the third one?
Writing code of the files.
How are most Python programs developed, A or B? Okay, so it's B because when you write a code in interactive interpreter in terminal, actually when you exit the terminal, you lose everything. Okay, so all the codes, software programs are developed in a file so that you can share your code, you can retrieve your code later on and execute it again as many times. Comments are required in a program. It's false, it's not required, but it's recommended. Okay. So variable, again we have talked about this variable. We do not need to explicitly specify the type of the variable. If it is integer, it automatically identifies and adapts to that data type. Celno here is a string. Whatever you write in double quotes, it acts as a string. A string means like a string of characters. Okay, if you have to write some message like welcome to CSE 1010 or whatever, you always enclose them in double quotes. And then we also have decimal values like 12.7. We generally use a term float for these kind of things which have decimal values. Again, you do not need to specify float type, it automatically picks it up. Okay, here is the assignment. Last week somebody asked me like whether it's an equation or what. So it's not an equation. It's like we are assigning a value on the right hand side to the variable on the left. Okay, it's not an equation. It's just what we call the assignment. A simple example of an assignment is like x equal x plus 1. So if the value of x is 1, the next assignment would be 1 plus 1 equals 2. So now the updated value stored in x is 2. And this is another way of doing the same thing, plus equal, which is generally referred as compound operator. Okay? Any question so far? This is a very common operation that we use in for loops and in looping statements. We will be talking about it later. So let's proceed ahead with the next thing, which is identifier. So identifier is just a name that you give to variable. Okay, so there are some conventions like you can use the lowercase letter, you can use uppercase letter, underscores, and digits. But there are some like restrictions. You can start off your variable name either with a letter or underscore. It can never start with any digit. Okay, so if you have to define age, so you can start with underscore age or simply age. You cannot start with 0 underscore age or 0 age. Okay, 0 is a digit, it is not allowed. Also, the variables are case sensitive. So uppercase T temperature is completely different variable than lowercase t temperature. Okay, this is also a common mistake that newbies make by defining a variable somewhere with the uppercase letter and trying to call with the lowercase one. Good variable name should describe the purpose of variable. Let's say instead of defining a equals, let's say 30, you would define age equals 30. Okay, so that other people can read your code easily. There are some reserved words. Certain words cannot be used for giving a name to your variable. These are generally referred as keywords. So for example, false with uppercase F, you cannot use this to give a name to your variable. It has a specific meaning in Python and it has reserved it. So we will say some of them we will be using it. Okay. All right. Again, another piece of advice from Nate's perspective. While you're writing a code, you use lowercase letter to define a variable names, place underscore between words, and there is a PEP 8 Python enhancement proposal. PEP 8 corresponds to the proposal that Python developers, I'm referring to the developers who develop Python, not the developers who use Python to develop software. Okay, so those folks who develop Python, they kept on documenting or developing a specification how certain things look like. So they develop a proposal how a Python code should be written. Okay, so it is highly recommended that you follow the instructions, follow the guidelines since from the beginning. I would give you an example, like if you guys, most of you guys have been brought up in United States. That's why you speak English. If you would be brought up in China, you would be speaking Chinese. Okay? So similarly, when you are starting to learn something, it's important that you follow the guidelines. Otherwise, if you do not follow the guidelines, you will make a habit of deviating from the standard. Okay? And when you apply for an internship or an interview, they might ask you for any sample code that you have written in past. And when they look at your code and if they see that you do not practice the standard guidelines, you may be lower down in their preference list because they may think that whatever code you are going to write, we may not be able to understand what you're writing because you're not following the conventions. Okay? So it is important from career perspective also, follow this PEP 8, whatever it says. You do not need to follow the entire documentation. Seek help from PyPal, and it will be able to help you like how to write, how to define certain variables, how to give a name to a class or definition, whatever. Okay, so here is an example. Like if you have to define, store the number of students attending UCLA, so you would, rather than writing num or UCLA or NU, you would give a meaningful name, num underscore students underscore UCLA, etc. Okay? This is the main purpose of this. Arithmetic expressions. We still have 4 minutes, so I would want to cover this slide. It's a combination of items like variables. You have already seen the expression while calculating salary. We have wages, wage times, other like other variable name or plus whatever, like maybe any like a constant value. So 2 times x is a variable here. You see, it's always used on the right hand side of the equation. Okay, so if you see an equation like this, so whatever is on the right hand side, this is what it says that it is an expression. We have already seen that in example. What is literal? Literal is any constant value in an expression, just like 1 here or 2 in this expression. Operators, you are already aware of the operators. It's a symbol that performs a built-in calculation like plus operator, which performs addition, and some of the operators you are already familiar with, plus, minus. Asterisk is used for multiplication. This is for division, and this is for power. Like if you have to calculate 2 power 3, so in like your simple paper, you could simply write 2 to the power 3, but in Python you have to write 2 double asterisk and 3, and it is equivalent to 2 to the power 3. Okay, there are some other ways, some other functions available to perform the calculate the power, but we will talk about it in next lecture. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, you're all set to go. Thank you very much.